pre-training, I suppose I have my last meal, and it's the same on game day, about 3 hours before throw-in. So with that, I would have a high carb diet, I suppose, sweet potato, chicken, pasta, some pasta sauce, and then just on the hours leading up to the game, then getting in your isotonic sports drink, your water, and some of those Nature Valley bars really set me up for training then for matches. On a training day, I'd probably eat up to 4 or 5 times a day, just with different snacks. I suppose I'd always have cashew nuts, Brazil nuts kind of on the go when you are commuting in the car, because it's important to have snacks with you.
Yeah, so after a match, the way the Camogie Championship works, you'd usually have a match the week after, so you'd probably have to try to get something good in. I do like a cheat meal, but you'd have to be very careful with that. You try to get something protein, anything really into you after a match, because if it's been a tough slog, I suppose. So you might have a protein shake, but I like to kind of actually keep the chocolate milk. Usually protein milk is probably the best substitute for that. So you might have one of those straight after the match. To be honest, I'd be fairly easy going with my meals after, just as long as you're getting in, I suppose, your carbs, your proteins and your vegetables. So anything like that would be fine. Like just a normal dinner for me would be fine. And if I'm very good to myself, I might have a pizza. But that's very sporadic, I suppose. Like I said, if there's a week on, week off match, you have to be very good with your food after, because you're after, I suppose, doing 2 hours of intense exercise, and I suppose you just need to be careful with
it. For me personally, we're lucky enough to have a nutritionist who'd sort of, after training, would have a protein shake made up for you. It'd just be full of your yogurts and your fruits. And you'd taking it straight away. Just when you come into the dressing room, it'll be sitting on the table, and you just take that straight away. Then maybe half an hour later, when you get changed and showered and stuff, then you'd begin getting maybe nearly a proper dinner again, where you'd be getting your beef and your spuds and your carrots, just topping up again the energy. So I think it's important that you're eating just straight after your training and eating nearly as much as you can, just to refuel the body.